Hi everyone, and thanks for joining me again today. This is going to be a video response to RPMIDAHO and Boss Tycoon 530BZ, otherwise known as the California Prepper, who both tagged me actually in a very intriguing tag video of what knife started the madness. Which knife really got you started into the knife collecting journey, so to speak. Now, some of you may already know, because I mentioned it in some comments on one of RPMIDAHO's videos. Mine was this very Kershaw. The Kershaw leak. As you can see, where is it? Here we go. This one was made in July of '04, and that was about very close to when I bought it. It was definitely 2004. I just happened to be walking past a local knife shop, and they actually had a display for Speed Safe because it was kind of a relatively new thing, and it was this knife was just tethered down. It was, the blade was dulled. It was just a display knife, obviously. And I kind of walked by and was like, "Oh, that's kind of neat." And then it flicked out like that, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, is that thing legal?" And because I didn't know any better, I didn't even know what an assisted knife was. It seemed to me to be almost automatic. You push a button and the blade pops out. So I figured it must have been illegal and couldn't get around how they could be selling it legally in Canada. Long story short, the proprietor of the business explained the difference between an automatic and assisted knife, and assured me that it was he was indeed selling legal merchandise, and I bought one on the spot. Thought it was pretty darn cool, and really liked the thinness of it. Really liked the fine blade, which you really can't beat for the delicate work, which is, you know, like opening boxes and that type of stuff, which is really 90% of what you use a knife for. This knife excels. I mean, it's wicked sharp. Excellent for stabbing into those really tough plasticky bubble pack things. You know what I'm talking about. And opens them up really nicely. I've actually gone through 3 of these. Usually I'll lose a knife and then get frustrated and just buy another one, and then find the other one. So I at one time I did have 3 of these. I ended up giving one to a friend, so I still have 2, one of which I stonewashed. But this knife, it's just on so many different levels. It's such a fantastic knife. Go reference my video on it. I did an in-depth review. This is the knife that really got me carrying again. Now, that being said, to be quite honest with you, this is really the knife that started it all for me. This knife was my father's knife. He passed away some years ago, and I ended up inheriting this knife. I don't really know a lot about this knife, and if anybody does know anything about it, I'd love to know a little bit more about it. All that I do know is when my father passed away, I asked my mom about it, and she said that she just remembers it because he got it when they were first married in the early '60s, and they had a big fight over it because they didn't have a lot of money at the time, and my dad decided he wanted a quality pocket knife and just went out and bought it and didn't ask her, and there was a fight about it. Now, my dad carried this in his pocket as long as I knew him. He had spots worn in his pants where this knife rode. I do know that it used to be all red, and so you can see the wear on it. It was definitely well loved. You know, the blade is really, by today's standards, an absolute mess. But you know, I haven't ever felt the need to sharpen it or whatnot. I don't think I'll ever carry it. It'll just be a kind of a family heirloom. It's got the can opener, the bottle opener, a large blade, obviously, and it's got, I think it's like a drill, and that's it. This is really the knife that got me interested in it, because I knew my dad always carried it. I always had an interest in pocket knives. My dad gave me a pocket knife when I was very young, but of course I lost it. But yeah, this is the knife that always fascinated me when I was a kid, and this was a true EDC knife for my dad back in the 60s, and all throughout my life. So that's really the knife that started it all for me. Now we've been asked to tag other folks, and while I go through the list of the folks that I want to tag, I figured I'd show you my my last video. I was asking for help on this, and I got to say thank you to Storm Drain, who I talked with via private messages, and he kind of talked me through this knot, which is a wicked knot to tie, guys. It's a pretty detailed knot. It's called the Turk's Head, and you know what? It looks a lot easier when you see it complete than what it is. But check out Storm Drain's video on the 2-bite Turk's Head. It's certainly not that easy. Anyway, that's basically what I was looking for, and I got her complete on my own. So so there that is. Now the guys that I'm gonna tag in this video, that I'd like to know the knife that really started their journey, the knife that started the madness, the Canadian knife guru. He's a young guy, but he's really knowledgeable about knives, and I'd really like to know which knife started for him. I think I might already know from previous videos that he's made, but I'd like to see if he'd make a tag video. The other one, and I don't know if he even will respond to it, because he's relatively well known in the community, is Vance Rhodes. I definitely follow Vance on YouTube, and he has access to all kinds of crazy awesome knives, and I'd really like to know what started it all for Vance as well. Point Shooter, another great guy on YouTube. That's probably one of the best channels that I know about. That's under 500 subs. Point Shooter's got a really great channel, and I'd like to see what his knife would have been, or what got him started on the journey. Sinric 77, my tea bag. That guy, Sinric. I'd love to see what I know. You're of all the people, you're probably one of the few guys that will actually still have the knife that started it all for you, and I'd like to hear you talk about it. And my last one is Pitfire Outdoors, another awesome Canadian channel. Check this guy out, guys. Pitfire Outdoors. He does some excellent videos, fantastic content. If you're into the outdoors, bushcraft stuff, he's also got. I know that he's definitely got one knife that's super historical and amazing piece of Canadian history. But I definitely like to see Pitfire Outdoors. What kind of got him in the journey as well. So those are my guys. Thanks to RPM Idaho and Boss Tycoon 530BZ again for tagging me, and that's my video. Thanks, guys.